Thanks so much, Adam. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Andrea Caballo, and I'm Senior Manager of Digital Measurement Strategy at A&E Networks, where I spearhead digital analytics implementations across all of our brands, including A&E, FYI, Lifetime, and History, across web, mobile web, iOS, Android, tvOS, Apple TV, sorry, Roku. There's 9 of them. Roku, Xbox, Amazon Fire TV, and Windows Phone. There we go. So like Adam mentioned, I have the unique pleasure of being a Telium client twice in a row. First at Univision Communications, where I helped to lead a Telium integration along with our content management system replatforming, and we had amazing results. Telium was instrumental in helping us stand up a top-notch analytics implementation with unprecedented speed and agility. So A&E has been utilizing Telium for several years now, also with fantastic results. We are now very excited to begin to fully leverage Telium's mobile solutions on iOS, Android, and our connected TV devices, like I said, tvOS, Apple TV, and hopefully some more coming down the line, to integrate complex analytics implementations while greatly reducing the number of the different mobile SDKs that we have to manage with each and every build update that we make. So it is my belief that great digital analytics implementations are made up of 3 basic principles. All right. Coverage, consistency, and credibility. So the first one that I'd like to touch on is coverage. And when I say coverage, I'm including sort of the broad scope of all your different platforms and however many sites and apps that you might have, so kind of the macro scale, but also coverage in the micro kind of sense, where you need to be able to capture any kind of specific user interactions that are relevant to driving the business of your company. So whether that's video views, logins, registrations, social shares, product purchases, all of those you need to be able to track consistently across all of your apps and sites, and make sure that they're captured in whatever data tools that your company uses. Telium makes it really easy to capture all the KPIs that drive your company's business and its success. Once you've decided on the user actions that you need to be able to track, simply ensure that you're making all of this information available in your Telium data layer wherever you're implementing it. With a simple JavaScript snippet or a mobile SDK, you can be on your way to tracking your apps and sites with as much or as little detail as you need. So both A&E and Univision work with numerous third-party vendors to build world-class web experiences. Normally, such endeavors would require a lot of plugins and SDKs to ensure that all of your required analytics vendors are present when the site launches. With Telium, though, you can ensure a full integration of all your necessary tools, be it Adobe Analytics, Google Analytics, ComScore, Nielsen, many more, Optimizely, all with just a single line of JavaScript code. So once your snippet is integrated, sometimes little to no dev work is needed to just track simple page, to track your simple page tracking needs. Because Telium will capture a lot of core components like page title, your URL domain, your path name. And then you can send all of that information to whatever analytics tool you need. And then, by leveraging their really powerful JavaScript extensions, or just not even JavaScript extensions, just the extensions that they have, you can add even more detail, however much detail that you need, without having to talk to your development team. For example, at A&E, we build a lot of promotional standalone sites to drive awareness of an upcoming premiere of a series. So these sites aren't necessarily connected to our content management system, and so our usual metadata isn't really present on these pages. But by using Telium's set data values extension, I can create my own metadata around the show that we're promoting just by hooking off of things like URL patterns or path names that are already present around that promo page. So now the visitors who come to that promo site can be counted as fans of Bates Motel or 60 Days In or Vikings or Project Runway, all without having had to visit our formal show series site. So keeping your data layer stocked with as many ingredients as possible is also a great way to ensure that you've got the coverage that you need. For example, your research team might need to be able to see video duration in whole minutes. But your CRM team wants to target users based on their consumption of 30 versus 60-minute videos. So how do you do that? At A&E, what we do is we pass in a video duration parameter that's set in a value of seconds, and then we use Telium to format that one data parameter into 2, 3, 4 different parameters that we then send into Adobe and our data management platform. You can also use Telium to create the ingredients that you need to help both your technical and your non-technical teams succeed. For example, your dev team is probably populating variables with Boolean values, like 0, 1, true, or false. So then you get things like, is user logged in equals 0 or 1? Or is video long form 0 or 1? But your marketing and your research teams, they want something that's a little more friendly, right? So hooking off of those parameters, again, you can use Telium's extensions to create the params that you need. So there's a lot more ways to say true or false. You can have a parameter that says visitor logged in status is logged in, logged out, unknown, or in progress. You can also populate information around any kind of video types that you might have. So video format equals long form, equals short form, equals clip, depending on the metadata that you're already passing in. Consistency is also really crucial. Yes. OK. Yes. So consistency is also immensely crucial to successful cross-platform reporting. We all know how difficult it can be to compare data that's coming in from multiple apps and likely built by multiple teams. And that's how you get multiple implementations without even trying very hard. So what Telium can do is it can help you format your data so that it fits your needs. For example, at A&E, we recently refreshed our websites so that they're more responsive and easier for users to get to our video content. This, however, resulted in changes to our URL patterns, which we were using to build our page names. But anyway, so no need to panic, because with the help of some of the metadata that's already in our data layer and a couple of extensions, we were able to continue the consistency of our page naming schema, all without, again, having to talk to our dev team. So consistency was saved. Hooray, continuity. Some other inconsistencies, like special characters or spaces, can really wreak havoc in your ultimate reporting tools. They make it look as if a single asset is actually 2, 3, 4 different videos or products or whatever else it is that you're tracking. Using Telium, you can format your data the way that it best suits your company's needs. And if you happen to not catch these inconsistencies until they hit production, which can happen very easily, unfortunately, because in QA, maybe you don't have a critical mass of data, and you're not able to see what's happening sort of across the board. And then, of course, once it hits production, that's when you start seeing everything coming in a little bit wonky. So if you happen to not catch these inconsistencies until it hits production, Telium can help you make changes real time without needing to rely on your mobile team's build cycle to fix what you need fixed. I also cannot stress how much more streamlined data implementation is when your dev team only has to populate one piece of code. When working with multiple data analytics tools, it's really easy to include a piece of user data in one of your tools, but then forget or not even realize that you need it in your other 3. As long as your parameter is in the Telium data layer, it's available to as many tools as it needs to be. I think one of my favorite and probably the most important component of all is credibility. So if you imagine that your data is like a reservoir of water, you can understand why it's so important to keep it clean. With Telium, your implementation lies within, like I said, with Telium, your implementation lies within one piece of code, so it makes it a lot easier to verify and fix something if something happens to go wrong. You can also do your testing really easily and quickly in your Chrome developer browser, in the developer console of your Chrome browser. So this really greatly reduces your need to download special testing software or subscribe to subscriptions that can cost a lot of money, or call your IT department and beg and plead them to give you special user permissions over your computer. So this helps a lot with that. And if you happen to not be on your own computer, if you're at home, you can do your testing there too. So I think one of my other favorite things is that Telium allows you to be bold and experiment with different ways of tracking the information that you need. You can make changes, test them, revert them, all with just a couple of clicks of your mouse. Your destiny is in your own hands, guys. One of my other favorite tools is the Telium Web Companion. And The reason that I like it is because it allows you to test any changes that you've made in dev and QA, of course, on the live production version of your website or your apps. So before you think I've lost my mind, just think of how common it is for your dev or your QA sites to have maybe less functionality or less content than your production sites. For example, a lot of times the videos, I have maybe a handful of videos that I can test on my dev and QA sites. And every time that I think I've found a video that works, it's gone. Because something's been, because it's been reset or the database has been wiped out, as happens. If you're concerned with MVPD authentication, that might not necessarily be set up in your lower environments. It's only in production. So the Telium Web Companion is really, really instrumental in letting you test all of the user interactions with all of the content, with all of the possibilities that your production site has to offer. In addition, the less code on your pages, the better they perform. So Telium's single JavaScript snippet relieves you and your web dev team of having to manage hundreds of lines of code. And those hundreds of lines of code are probably just related to retargeting pixels, much less the rest of your data analytics suite. So finally, another one of my favorite things is that when it comes to passing this data that's in your data layer to your analytics vendors, you are in full and total control. Information from your data layer won't be sent to any of your reporting tools until you're ready to make it happen. So it allows you to feel confident in the information that you're actually passing in. And should something be pushed out before it's really ready to go live for you, you can ensure that faulty data doesn't come in until it's fixed. So I think in closing, Telium can help you put your data in your own hands. It can let you make the decisions that you need to make and work better than ever before. Thank you very much.